Ooh, welcome in, sports fans. Let's get it. Let's go. It's that time of the week, Sunday kickoff. Time to have a little fun with a little football action. We're just doing a little tailgate show, little how you doing this morning, a little hanging out, little. Let's look at the games. That's what a little bit we've been a little do. And that little bit it makes sense. I don't know why I'm saying little so much, but one of them Sunday days. Let's get into it. We had a fun Thursday night football game. So it's hard to tune into them sometimes because the matchups would be atrocious. But we had a killer matchup with the Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions in a fireworks show. Detroit Lions determined to win that game. Dan Campbell, a betting man, rolling the dice, got lucky. Got kind of lucky there at the end. Football gods try to trip up old Jared Goff, try to keep him on his toes, and that was not it. It was not it. Like, it was dangerous. Almost went down before you get the handoff. The tripping up of the feet, barely gets it off. Gets the first down, able to run out the clock, kick the field goal, win the game. Talk about a killer Thursday night football game. Well, let's get into this week's action. What's happening today? What's going on this afternoon, starting 1 o'clock? 1 p.m., kicking off with the Raiders versus the old Buccaneers. Shout out to that. In Tampa Bay, the Raiders are coming here to lose. This is a lock of the week. Buccaneers over the Raiders. Take that money line, that minus 300. The Raiders don't want to win. They're in the race for a top NFL pick, and they desperately want the quarterback of the future. They think they have it in Shadir Sanders. The names might sound familiar if you're a long-time football fan. That's right, Deion Sanders' son is who they are chasing. And to do that, in order to do that, they must lose. Look, Anthony Pierce better not get fired this season because they've been in must-lose football situations for a long time. With junk quarterbacks for the season. They went into the season with one of the worst quarterback rooms, debatable with the Panthers as the worst room, and they've shown this season they did, in fact, have the worst quarterback room in the NFL. When you go into the Tennessee Titans had a real bad situation too, arguably just as bad as the Raiders, if not worse. At least with the Raiders, Gardner Minshew give you a hope of a little bit of success. Not a 2-10 season. That's what you were hoping for. At least, close, especially with AP as a young coach, being able to possibly do something with it. But you can't really blame him for this season. They might. They just might. That could happen. You could see some blame getting put on Anthony Pierce for it, but I don't think it's the problem. You get dealt a bad deck of cards, and you see the Buccaneers getting a free win, moving them to 7-6, trying to win that NFC South. This is a game that they do at 6.5. If you want to bet the spread, that feels dangerous to me. The Raiders will play it tough, but the Buccaneers will win, guaranteed at home. The Raiders don't want to win. You'll see a fumble at the end of the game trying to give the other team the points if they need to lose. This is a game the Raiders refuse to win. Call it a lock of the week. Next on the list, a banger of a matchup, a AFC North showdown. One that will be more of a game than what the spread suggests. That's the Browns versus the Steelers. The Steelers send in 9-3, coasting away with the AFC North. Shout out to the Steelers and shout out to all the Steelers fans that are getting excited about this season because look, you're taking Russell Wilson to the playoffs. You're taking Justin Fields to the playoffs. These two castaway quarterbacks are going to the playoffs. The Browns sitting at 3-9. Famous Jameis doing everything he can, but it's just not enough to be a competitive quarterback in this league. Look, the Browns are in a terrible spot. I was hoping Famous Jameis would be able to do a little bit more, but I like the Steelers in this money line as well. 7-point spread here. This one I feel more confident of the Steelers covering the 7-point spread against the Browns than I do the Buccaneers covering over the Raiders, even though the Buccaneers is more of a lock. We got a first commenter of the day, LFG. Let's go Bills. Shout it out, old Beer Gut Garage. All right, let's see if we can fast forward here. Typically, we do these in order, right? I do the games in order or whatnot, but first commenter mentioned a team, so we got to talk about his team for a moment. We got to let's hit the fast forward, hit these afternoon games, these 4:25 games real quick, and let's talk about these Bills versus Rams. This is actually a pretty good matchup, low-key good matchup game. This will be one that I probably watch. I watch the Red Zone usually, so I'll probably still just watch the Red Zone because I also want to see that Seahawks-Cardinals game, so it's a good way to be able to watch both. But we do have the Bills versus the Rams. Bills currently sitting at 10-2. They've got a lot going on this season. They've got a lot on the line to play for, a lot to need this win kind of situation. They don't want to give Kansas City any gap, right? So if they lose today, they would move to 10-3 and give Kansas City a one-game cushion. And look, we're running out of games to play catch up with, right? So in a Bills fans' magical situation, they somehow go into LA and beat the Rams, which is the Vegas favorite, right? That's what we're seeing here. 3.5-point spread on the road. Only 19% of the public believes in the Rams. And I am one of those 19%. What the Bills are hoping for in a magical situation is that they win today and the Chiefs lose to the Chargers and somehow they move into first place in the AFC. Hey, it could happen, right? In a dream scenario. However, I hate to be the dream crusher, but this is the Bold Sports Show. Hi, what's your name? The name's on the screen. But shout out to all y'all. It's going to be hard for them to stop Josh. Look, Josh is not an easy task to stop for anybody, right? You're talking about a top 5 quarterback in the NFL without anyone arguing. I would say, like, there's not going to be many people that are saying at this point Josh Allen is not one of those guys, and you need one of those guys to be a team that can win, right? If you do not have a Patrick Mahomes, a Lamar Jackson, a Josh Allen, if you're not one of these teams, you really need to be like Jared Goff, Jordan Love. Like, you got to be one of these other guys. Skibbity wants to know, Mr. KC. Yes, sir. That is the name, sir. Appreciate you. And shout out to Aston. I know you're asking a bunch of weird questions, but I'll still shout you out. But let's get back into it. The Josh Allen versus the Rams. The Rams have an offense that can compete with the Bills. The Bills have a high-powered offense and a good enough defense. The defense is good enough to play tough against the Rams. Now, the Bills also can run the ball. The Rams a little bit less. I like the Bills' running ability a little bit more than the Rams. And they can really go toe-to-toe. Look, Josh Allen and Matthew Stafford is a banger of a matchup. It's a crazy banger of a matchup. Can I get a shout out? Of course, Skibbity. Of course. Maybe I can get it to pop up. Maybe. There we go. Look, everybody. It's Skibbity. I know what the show's about too. Skibbity told it. Beep up up. Look, I know the song a little bit. I should know it better as many times as I've heard it as a dad. You know what I mean? You're not weird. Well, that's good. That's good. Let's keep it that way. It's all right to be a little weird. We're all a little weird. But the Bills versus Rams, I still like the Rams in this one. They can play upset. Anytime the public doesn't believe, when it's a close point spread, like this 3.5 points, and the public just doesn't believe in the other team, in the team that's close into it, it hits. It hits big. And I like that plus 155. I might just take the points if I'm a Rams guy because it's going to be close. This is going to be a heck of a shootout in LA. And look, there's no home field advantage for the Rams. Like it's just LA is an open stadium. They got more fans than the Chargers do, but I would not be surprised if you see more Bills fans in LA than you do see Rams fans. Like if we're just going to be completely honest. That's what I see as the Bills versus Rams though. Give me the Rams. I like them in the upset. And look, I'm a Chiefs fan. There's some homer to it. I've been hoping the Bills lose all season. All season. And I've only been right. Like I'm giving them, obviously, I do prefer to be right. So I've picked them to win in a bunch of games, but they've definitely won some close games that they should not have won. And the Rams versus the Bills is going to be a banger of a matchup. That's going to be a fun afternoon game. Let's go see. Next up, Panthers versus Eagles. People, look, we gotta. I can't translate all those emojis. I'm too old for emoji conversations. Panthers versus Eagles. This one is funky. I don't think the Panthers can stop the run game of the Eagles. They got a 13.5 point spread. People are thinking the Panthers going to go up to the Eagles and get mollywopped. 13.5 points almost feels disrespectful for what I feel like the improvement the Panthers have tried to make. Now, do I think the Eagles are going to win? Yeah. Yeah. Should you, I mean, if you plus 600, so any dollar you put down, they'll times by 6 that you do. So it's pretty crazy to think about. It is crazy to think about that you get a 6-timer, but it's so risky. Like, even if you're going to pick the Panthers, that 13.5 point spread, that way if you still lose somehow, like at least you had that cushion. The Panthers have been feisty. Can they do it to the Eagles? I don't know. The Eagles want to win. They're sitting at 10-2. This will be an easy 11-2 kind of moment. I like it. I like it for the Eagles. They're going to win the dang NFC or East. They're going to do it. They're going to mess around and do it. Let's get into the Saints versus Giants. I think the Saints want it more. I think the Saints actually want to win. The Giants are a trash team that have given up on the season. 5-point spread feels very safe for the Saints. That does not feel risky at all. I have no problem with the 5-point spread with the Saints. I would almost put that on the parlay too. Even I would almost shop the line, take it like a 3-point. kind of cut the difference. But I'm putting that in the junk game parlay. Like, I just think it's perfect for it. Let's see. Jets versus Dolphins. The Jets have given up. The Dolphins going to win in Miami. Beautiful sunny day. Aaron Rodgers ain't got nothing for the Jets. Give me the Dolphins. Fins for the win. Like, it's just, what are you going to do if it's not the Fins for the win, right? Like, the Jets have given up on the season. The Dolphins are praying for a playoff spot. They're praying. They're sitting at 7 losses. They have to win every game. They're not going to, but they need to win every game. Every single game, they need to make some a win if they want a single chance, and they need other teams to lose. We'll get into it here in a second. I want to shout out to Skibbity for making a lot of emojis. I appreciate it. Shout it out. I'm not sure what that does for me, but I dig it. I love the good time rolls. Darren had stopped in, made a funny joke. Shout out to him too. Elizabeth, Jets got to get it. Jaguars versus Titans. Who does not want it more? I think the Titans are going to win this game. The Jaguars do not have Trevor Lawrence. Throw this in the lock. You throw this in the lock bunch. Vikings versus Falcons. Look, if you want to get into the Jags Titans, we can by request, but I'm not going to get deep into it. What are we talking? The Jags are toast. 2-10, finishing last place in the AFC South. How have the Prince have fallen? Jags' most disappointing set of roster on the season, probably. Even more so than the Cowboys. Sad to see. Titans win that game. Vikings over Falcons. 6-point favorites at home. Can Kirk Cousins get it done? Kirk Coach Haynes, as we like to call the man. Little Kirk Cousins action. Can he be the man that it is? I don't see it. I don't see it. It's too hard for the Vikings. There's too much going on. There's no way the Falcons pull this one off. What is the betting public saying? What do they got here? 17% believe in Kirk Cousins. That's a low one. We only got 20%. We got more people believing the Jags could beat the Titans than we got believing the Falcons can beat the Vikings. Jeez. And I feel the same way. I don't like this 6-point spread for the Vikings. They've been playing games close, and this Falcons team is a tough opponent. It's cold in Minnesota, but they get to play indoors. Like, shout it out. I think the Vikings will be just fine. This is a better game. This is the one I was talking about earlier. Seahawks versus Cardinals. Let's get it. This is a banger. NFC West showdown. This is what the scenario is. If the Cardinals win today, they move to 7-6. The Seahawks win today, they move to 8-5 in first place in the NFC West, and probably in the position, if the Rams lose, they are in a position where they can almost, I think they lock up the NFC West if they win today. The Seahawks are playing for the win today. This might be the dog of the week. Somehow, some way, the Cardinals are favored. And I believe they probably should be at home. Look, the Cardinals are playing for it. If they win today, and the Rams win today, suddenly everybody's 7-6. I'd have to check the who's beating who on this category. I don't even know who would be in first place in such a scenario. You have so much going on, and I think that might be what we see today. I really think we might see the Cardinals beating the Seahawks. 59% of the public is beating the Cardinals. But let's not forget what the Seattle Seahawks are playing for. You can almost take the rest of the year off. Look, 2-game lead, 4 games left to go. Like, come on. 3 games left to go, I think it is. No, 4 games. No, 15, 16, 17, 18, 4 games left. You got 4 games left after this week. Like, it's just, you're running out of time. It's getting to be the races. There's only so many games to play catch up. Seahawks need this, but Cardinals, that sneaky, quiet, good team, could win this game. Next on the list is Bills Rams. We did talk about that earlier. If you missed it, I am picking the Rams for the upset. I might go Seahawks, Rams, both dogs. Oh, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I trust the Seahawks. I think the Cardinals are going to win. They're going to win. Cardinals are winning. Let's go Rams. Let me see. Next game, Bears versus 49ers. I've got the Bears in the upset of this one. This has upset potential written all over it. The Bears are nuts. The 49ers have no running backs. Christian McCaffrey's gone. Mason's gone. Like, everybody's gone. They're running out of healthy players, and the 49ers struggle when they don't have all their talent around them. Now, Shanahan is a running back coach. He's probably, the next guy up is probably good, too. 49ers fans know who he is, and they're probably laughing. He. Like, they know he's going to be decent. Can the Bears pull up the upset? I think they do. Only 27% of the public believes in the Bears, and the Bears have been trash. Like, this is a trash matchup. Kind of like Monday Night Football. Want to eat this breakfast? I'm not sure what that means. You made the breakfast? Want to eat the breakfast? You eat your breakfast. This is your personal gourmet breakfast. Shout out to Skibbity out here chefing up the emoji breakfast. All right, here we go. Sunday Night Football. Chargers versus Chiefs, my favorite game of the week. You know, your boy is making Rotel for the game. Excited for this one. Chiefs versus Chargers. Let's talk about it. Let's get it. Chargers have been a dynamite of a team. Chiefs keep losing healthy players. They've lost McCole Hardman this year. So now we're looking at a quarterback room that's lost Rashid Rice, Hollywood Brown, Watson, who, if you're not familiar with, is like the number 4 guy for the Kansas City Chiefs and solid at that. And Hardman, like, you just keep we just keep naming players. Firmino has been elevated from the practice squad for it. He'll be doing the kick returns and whatnot, so that'll be exciting to see him get a little action, a little PT. It's always nice when the guy gets pulled up off the practice squad. TJ Humphrey should be playing left tackle. Look, if it's not him, I think it should be Dwanye Morris, maybe. Like, he might be doing it. Look, the left tackle situation in Kansas City is funky, and the Chargers is not the team you want to do it on. But I think you're going to see the Chiefs have a run-heavy team. You have a two-headed monster with Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt that you need to take advantage of. Look, the best way to help pad and pass protection is to run the ball. Simple. Get it up to 25 touches a game. Hit that 50-50 mark. Come on, Reed. We know you got it. It's that time of the year. It's time of the year. We let these big boys get paid to do what they do. We just coast in the playoffs. Chargers want to play upset here. They can't afford to lose. If they lose, the Chargers lose here, all of a sudden, the Miami Dolphins got a little hope. The Chargers moved to 8-5. You're only a couple games back from the Chargers for that playoff spot. These are the teams you're chasing. These are the games that you want. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get no better than this. It's crazy to see all of it. I know the Denver Broncos are holding on tight too. I think that's their last hope. Is they're like nipping at the heels of these teams. The Baltimore Ravens are going to be a playoff team. We know that, right? So it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, the Steelers, the Bills, the Texans from the AFC South will get the 4th spot. And then the Ravens are getting that 5th spot. So it leaves you the Angels, or the Los Angeles Chargers, or whatever their funkiness is. And maybe, you got Denver Broncos that you can chase, who are 8-5. You need them to start losing like 3 games. Look, the Dolphins need to go on a win streak, or there's nothing else to talk about in the AFC. It's a lock. The AFC playoffs are pretty much a lock. It's pretty much done. Let's take a look at what the playoff picture looks like right now. Yep. I guess the Indianapolis Colts could sneak in. They keep winning, and somehow the Chargers, Baltimore, or Denver keeps losing. I don't really see how it happens, but, it could, in theory. And then in the NFC, you have Detroit 12-1. Got the playoffs locked up. Crazy to think about. Eagles sitting at 10-2 in second place. Seattle at 7-5. Atlanta at 6-6. And they got some closeness there with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay can pull that one off. South ain't done yet. And then the wild card is going to be Minnesota, that's locked up with a 10-2. Like, they've pretty much got their playoff spot guaranteed. If they win today, I think that locks them into a playoff spot. Green Bay already lost this week, currently sitting at 9-4, but a comfortable game margin. Washington currently in the playoffs. And then really there is like an outside chance for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Arizona Cardinals, the Rams, even the 49ers are technically not out. The Cowboys could still sneak in, but you're really needing like Washington and Green Bay to go on a streak, and I just don't see it happening. Tampa Bay really could sneak in, but I think they're more likely for Atlanta to lose than they sneak in. They'll move into the playoffs this week because they're playing the Raiders, and that's a guaranteed win. And the Falcons are likely to lose playing the Vikings this week. It's a tough one. It's an interesting one, folks. Well, I appreciate you stopping in for the Tailgate show. I hope you all are excited for these football games. Which games are y'all looking forward to? Before we head out, I'm about to get a video out. I think I'm going to make a video. I appreciate you stopping in. Y'all have a good one.